country that buys more cars than anyone else by an enormous margin, they've just hit a new record when it comes to electric car sales. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the quick number. 48%. Month of May, the entire month, EV sales hit 48% in China. This is insane. This is happening so fast. I don't think people really realize what's going on here. We've heard this stuff so many times, but 48% in a country where 27 million cars are sold every year, 1 in every 3 cars sold worldwide is sold in China. That's huge. That's, well, the tipping point. We're hearing things like this, right? We're hearing people in America and Australia saying, I'm considering an EV for my next car, Apparently, there's a new survey that said 80% of Americans are considering an EV for their next car. And this is the key reason. I mean, technology is improving at such a rapid pace. And then you look at like Japan, right? Toyota and 2 other Japanese automotive companies have come out and said they signed a pact to together perfect the internal combustion engine, which is what, 30% efficient compared to EVs, which are 92% efficient. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. It's great to see you. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Thank you for supporting the channel on Patreon. Really appreciate you. And also as a YouTube member. YouTube members, if you want to, you can become a member, and I'll put a link in the description below. China has just hit a new record for the month of May. 48% of all cars sold in the entire month were electric, either fully electric or plug-in hybrid, as in you can drive them as fully electric cars, not hybrids. Hybrids are not counted in that number. It's vehicles where you can drive them on electric power alone, only in that 48%. That's a new record for an entire month. However, so far this year, the figure is 39.9% for the entire year. So for the first 5 months of the year, 39.9%. As you can see, that figure is going up each month, because the month of January, I think it was about 30%. Now May, we hit 48%. China's government thought this would happen. They thought this would happen in 2 years' time. BYD, the CEO of BYD, Wang Shanfu, he said it would happen this year. I don't think he was saying the start of May. I think he was saying, towards the end of the year. It's just happening even faster than what even BYD's CEO predicted that it would. When it comes to sales this year, EVs, their sales in China have grown by just over 30%. It's a 32% increase for the year versus last year. So that sales increase, that's a pretty big number. Yeah, I know in the US, EV sales are only up by about 5%. In Europe, about 10%. There's still an increase. And China is probably a more important market than Europe or than the United States. Because if you put Europe and the United States together, you put all their sales together, that's about how many cars are sold every year in China. Now, looking at the month of April, so back to April here, not the month of May. May, I think EV sales were around 450,000. April, it was 420,000. Now, that's fully electric cars. So completely only electric cars. They have around about a 30% market share in May in China, not including plug-in hybrids, just EVs. And that's a really huge number. Now, looking at this chart here, you've got from Inside EVs, who, by the way, I think are we should call them, change their name to anti-EVs, because that's often what they are for some reason. Don't know why, but maybe that sort of stuff is selling. Anyhow, anti-EVs have done this brilliant chart showing the growth in EV sales in China. And you can see here there's a list of the 5 best-selling EVs in China in the month of April. Number 1 was actually the BYD Seagull, which beat the Tesla Model Y by 400 sales. So 28,800 versus around 26,400 for the Model Y. So the Seagull, this hasn't happened before that I know of. The Seagull is now, was officially, in the month of April, the best-selling EV in China. Second, Model Y, of course. In third was the Yen Plus, which is the Atto 3 with 23,330 deliveries. Fourth, we have the BYD Qin Plus with 15,500. By the way, that's a new model. There are plug-in hybrid versions of that. That's only the electric version. 15,500 for the EV version of the BYD Qin Plus. Then there is the Wuling Hongwan Mini EV. That had 12,445 deliveries. However, for the full year in China, the best-selling EV in China is still the Tesla Model Y. And Tesla have had one of their best months in China in the month of May. I don't have that exact data yet, but I do know Tesla's approximate sales. Approximate sales looking at around 50,000 to 60,000 in China for Tesla for May. So a good month for Tesla in May. Some people are saying that Tesla are finished in China. It's game over. They're going to basically lose their factory there. That's what some people are saying. I don't agree with that. I think that's ridiculous, but that's what some people are saying. Anyhow, Model Y, first place, 126,000 sales for the first 4 months of the year, 126,700. Second, Seagull, 99,000, the BYD Seagull. Third, the Yen Plus, the BYD Atto 3. By the way, a huge number of those Atto 3s are sold outside of China, in Thailand, in Israel, Australia, and a few different countries around the world. That's BYD's biggest export seller. Next is the Wuling Hongwan Mini EV with 56,700 deliveries. Not bad for the little micro EV, because there's a lot of competition now for the Wuling Hongwan Mini EV. Cars that I think are better and actually cheaper. So anyway, it's still doing really, really well, and it's still a bargain. $5,000 for an electric car, cheaper than bicycles. You know, bicycles used in the Tour de France cost what, 2-3 times as much, and they're just bicycles without any kind of electric power whatsoever, as far as we know. Anyway, now the BYD Dolphin, 48,266 deliveries. The BYD Chin Plus with around 41,000 sales. So interestingly here, guys, this list doesn't really do it justice, but one big company here making a huge splash with EV sales is actually Geely. Now, Geely, for the first time, I think forever, have become one of the 10 biggest car brands in the world. And this is predominantly because of the great electric cars that they make. They have some of the best technology in their EVs. I think the best personally. I've said this a few times on videos over the last year. But anyway, Geely has jumped up. Zeekr, their EV sales have been just ballistic, and they're now selling in Europe. They're about to come to Australia. By the way, if you've ordered a Volvo EX30, personally, I'd be looking at the Zeekr X. Little tip here. I've got an idea on price for that car. The Zeekr X is a bit better than the Volvo EX30. It's a bit bigger. It's 20 centimeters longer. It's more luxurious. Price might be about the same. So you might be a bit disappointed if you find the price out for the Zeekr X and you realize you've bought a Volvo EX30 and you realize the Zeekr X is the better car. So definitely hold off on buying an EX30 if you're in Australia anyway. Geely doing really well. Tesla, though, still the second best, the second highest EV brand in terms of total overall sales in China. And you can really see here that there's no XPeng, there's no NIO on this list. Really, the biggest car makers are Atto, Geely, GAC Aeon, and of course, Tesla and BYD. Now, SAIC, GM, Wuling, they are on this list as well. They're kind of like a tri-venture. I don't even know if they should be on the list. A tri-venture. It's like, imagine if you put together the sales of BYD, Tesla, and Geely, made a tri-venture between the three. I don't know if that would count. They'd just be like, oh, we won every month. Yeah. You know, that's why I don't really count the SAIC, GM, Wuling tri-venture. But anyway, they're selling a lot of those micro EVs, very cheap EVs, which is good to see. There's now millions of those cheap EVs in China. So this is a pretty cool thing, right? If you're, say, 18 years old, you don't have much money, or maybe you've been at school studying all the time, there's millions of cheap EVs that new Chinese students can have access to, that they can buy. They can probably even afford to buy them brand new, but secondhand, absolute bargains, a lot of these EVs in China. Now, guys, I'm about to do a video on what's going on with Geely here. Geely sales have been crazy, and one of the biggest reasons is this. They're taking EVs very seriously. It's the biggest growth part of the company, and it's what, in my opinion, will help them to overtake potentially the Volkswagen Group or Toyota within the next 10 years. By 2035, I see Geely becoming one of the big automakers in the world, along with BYD. What are your thoughts, though? Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.